Right, hello everyone. Welcome back. I hope you're doing well. It's Badger here. I'm here with another Burrowcasters Insert Disc podcast episode today. I am just on my own today, as this is something I feel that I would talk about by myself, given that I've recently just finished playing this game on stream, and I thought it would be worth giving it a quick review and letting you guys know my thoughts on this. Now, for those of you who have been watching my stream, you will know that I have been playing Resident Evil 3, the 2020 video game, for October or spooky month, spoopy month, whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure who came out with spoopy sort of thing. But yes, I was very kindly gifted this game through Steam, and I was just like, well, I'll play that for Halloween. Now, Resident Evil is obviously a very long running horror franchise. I can't think of how many games they have done at the moment, and we obviously know, we all know about Resident Evil, the games, the films, etc., and all that stuff as well. So I play Resident Evil 3, and this was actually the very first Resident Evil game I have ever played in my life. So yeah, I had no idea what to expect going into it, really. I'd seen little clips of Resident Evil games and things like that, and seen videos about them, but I'd never actually played them myself. So a quick little background about this. So, like I said, Resident Evil 3 was released in 2020, and this Resident Evil 3 was a remake of the original 1999 game Resident Evil Nemesis. Now, in this game, you take control of Jill Valentine and Carlos. I can't remember his surname. It's going to annoy me now. What was it? Carlos Oliveria? That's how you say it. I'm not 100% sure. But you will take control of those two characters at separate points within the game. Now, obviously, this is a survival horror game, so you will have puzzles, and it's third-person based as well. Now, the main thing that I think most people know from Resident Evil 3 is the big guy that you can sort of see behind me on the screen is Nemesis. And oof, I hated Nemesis with a passion while I played this game. He was very persistent and very annoying. Now, you will start off in Raccoon City. You start off playing as Jill Valentine as she tries to escape Raccoon City and figure out what is going on. Again, this is going to be one of the things I'm going to try and avoid as many spoilers as possible as I can, but I do apologise if I do say anything that spoils the game, in case anybody does want to play this game. Now, graphics wise, I really can't fault it. The graphics in the 2020 video game are brilliant. Gameplay graphics are brilliant. Cinematics look really good. All very well done. Voice acting is very well done as well in it. Nothing that sounds wooden or anything like that. So it's really good. Now, obviously, this is a third-person perspective game. So, it's not like you're playing Halo or Doom, where you've got your first-person view and it's that. And it is very much about survival. As I say, it is a survival horror game. So, you kind of expect that. Well, I'd hope you're expecting it, unlike what I did. Because I'm not going to lie to you lot. Part of me did sort of go in thinking, but it's going to be like Doom, Halo. I'm going to be like Master Chief or Doom Guy equivalent. Don't think that if you're going to go and play this game, especially if you haven't played any other Resident Evil games. Really don't know why I thought that. I think I was just like, I get to shoot stuff. Main character. I've got main character energy in the game. So, yeah. This game, gameplay wise, is a lot more about conserving your ammo and your inventory as well. The zombies do come up quite a bit. They're always around, and you think you shoot them enough, but sometimes you just don't. They just turn up, so you do have to spend a lot of ammo against them if you're not careful. The atmosphere of this game is brilliant, I have to say. It did keep me on edge quite a few times. I really enjoyed the story. Really felt it actually pulled me in. Which is quite surprising because those of you who probably listened to my previous podcast episodes that I've done with other people, like the horror-based one with Thorns, and if you've been in my stream, you know that I played Dead Space a little while back, and I enjoyed it for a bit. But then with Dead Space, I didn't get on with it in the end, so I stopped playing it for a bit, and that was mainly because I found that there was a lot of audio cues before certain enemies would appear, and it wasn't like a split second before they appeared. It was quite a bit before they appeared, so you sort of you going in there, it's like, okay, right, an enemy's going to appear. So I didn't really. I found that sort of took a bit of the horror element away from Dead Space, but Resident Evil does not do this, as you will find with Nemesis, because Nemesis at one point during the game just pops up out of nowhere with no explanation, and it made me jump. A few times in this game that it did actually make me jump. One of them was Nemesis just appearing out of nowhere. As well, there have been other times as I've been playing this game live on Twitch. My wife also made me jump quite a few times as well. Uh, so yeah, you will get to see some of those clips as well.
Shadow! Shadow! I literally threw the controller up in the air.
Really have a bad feeling about going back down there. That's the only way out. Holidays, so been pretty busy. Usually slow location. Oh, fair enough, dude. Okay.
That made me jump so much, I somehow went to the inventory menu.
Right, yeah, come on, buddy. There we are. Come on. Do flame. Reload, Jill. Come on, reload. They are currently blocking us in. Why can I not fire that out of aim?
I didn't even mean to scare him.
So I hope you enjoyed those little clips. Now, backtracking a little bit onto gameplay wise, obviously I told you guys you play as Jill and Carlos at separate points. They play slightly differently. Your weapons will be different with both of them. Carlos will start off with an assault rifle, whereas Jill will start off with a pistol and gets a shotgun and a grenade launcher later. And Carlos will get a pistol and an assault rifle. There are other weapons within the game. You do get combat knives, and you do get grenades that you can throw, as well as grenades for the grenade launcher as well. Now, as well as that, you do. Like I said, it's not a game where it's just you just go through blasting zombies and you're invincible. Basically, you have to be quite careful with the zombies because they will just attack you even when they're off screen. They're close enough; it still registers the attack, so you can't just sort of think, "Oh, he's off. That zombie's off screen now. It's I'm fine." So Jill is able to dodge the zombie attacks at close range, whereas Carlos is able to punch the zombies, classic action hero wise, and can stagger them. Now, I did find dodging with Jill was a bit tricky. I think it was more a case you had to time it perfectly than anything else, and it was very unforgiving at times. I did get a bit frustrated with that. But, I mean, that's the only little thing I can say about that. The other thing I would say is the inventory system. I mean, again, yeah, I completely understand that this is supposed to be a survival horror-based game, and you're not supposed to be running around as Rambo, Master Chief, Doom Guy, etc. Things like that. You know, just have everything. You magically pull out one magical infinite-sized pocket as another dimension. It did get on my nerves a bit that you had to be very conservative with the inventory space. Everything took up a slot in your inventory, so your weapons took up inventory slots. Any health items took up inventory slots. Ammo took up inventory slots as well. And any other items you needed through the game to get into like locked chests or doors. So a couple times I had to pick up like one time I think I had to pick up a key to get into somewhere. Another time I had to pick up a key card to allow me to go through the rest of that level or area. I should probably say actually it wasn't really a level. I was just going through an area, a level in the sort of classic kind of level terms, if you get what I mean. Like, you know, Mario and Sonic, you know, they always had levels. and things like that. So that did get on my nerves a bit, and there wasn't that many chances to really increase your inventory space as well. So I think I personally would have liked it to be that the ammo didn't really take up any inventory space, given the fact that this is a survival game and health was not there all the time. You either had to make sure you had health items on you, or you needed to make sure you had enough space. And there would be times when I'd run out of space, or I had to get rid of something to make space for health items as well. Now, as well as that, there were things in the background, extra, well, not in the background, but additional things which help flesh out the lore of the game as well. Gave you a bit more idea of what's going on, and things that helped you say highlighted certain words, sort of say you can do this, which was quite good actually. I didn't read all of them because there was a lot of them that I was just like, I'm not reading them. But to complete this game, just complete the story game, I did have a look at this. It should be about 6 hours on average. I think for me it took a little bit over 6 hours. Not by much though. Probably close to about what, 6 hours, 20 minutes, 6.5 maybe, give or take. I didn't really look properly as well, and it'd take about, I googled it and it said it would take about 20 hours to complete the game if you're going for 100% completion and everything like that. Although there are some achievements in Steam that I'm just like, how can anybody do that? But someone clearly has, I dare say. So yeah, it's a good solid game. I mean, it's from that sort of time when single player games didn't take stupidly long, before we went into the whole sort of let's make everything open world and just give everyone RPG based games, and got loads of side quests you can go lose yourself in and things like that. Now there were a few collectibles I think in the game. I didn't really notice them either. I think when I look back at it, I might have just looked past them without properly realizing, because I didn't think to read certain documents that sort of said, oh, if you do this, then this will happen. But I mean, like I said, I was there just to play the game and experience the story. I wasn't looking to go and find collectibles and everything. There were times where I was just like, right, I need to try and get out of this area. I haven't got time to look for collectibles. I'm trying to get to the next part of the story, or Nemesis is sitting there watching me. Like at one point, I do recall I went into a store and Nemesis just standing there staring at me outside the window. It's just like, go away. I don't like you, Nemesis. Go away. So those of you who were watching my stream, you guys know what my reaction to Nemesis was like after a while. I was like, God damn it, you again. It's like, go away, mate. Go away. Seriously, I'm trying to do stuff. I don't need you here. Anything like that. So yeah, they were good fun. One other thing I did find a bit odd about the gameplay wise, this more came down to the shooting. I don't recall if it was on all guns, but I know when I was playing as Jill, and I used the grenade launcher, it wouldn't let me fire the grenade without actually aiming first. So I actually literally had to press the aim button on the controller, so the left trigger, and then be able to aim it, which I think is a bit odd, really. I mean, I know that in theory, yes, grenade launcher, you don't want to just be firing it blindly because it's firing a grenade. That could damage you in the game and things. But I do find that a bit odd that it did that. And another thing I did find as well is the zombies, you don't get any real idea of how strong they are, as there were some zombies that just took tons and tons of damage until they finally fell over. There was one where I was just literally just, I think I've found some incendiary grenades, and it took about 3 incendiary grenades to take these 2 zombies down as well. So this game will challenge you, and you're not going to have the ultimate weapons for it either. I do think I ended up missing one of the guns. I think that was probably one of the guns, or a gun at least. I don't know if it was the only gun I didn't find or what, but there is a gun that it was like a high-powered rounds gun, a mag gun or something like that. I can't remember what it was called, but I found like a part to it, but I didn't find the rest of the gun within the game. So it's I think that was one of the things that was more for those who spend their time to go and find it and everything. And that was actually supposed to be very good against the zombies, but I didn't find it. But oh well, who cares? You know, I completed the game, which was brilliant. So yeah, there was that as well. Like I said, obviously there are some good bits where it jump scares you, as you probably just saw in one of the previous clips. There was one bit I was ready for it to happen. It still made me jump as well. The story is very good. Characters are very good as well, as I mentioned. I can't fault this game that much, really. Those little bits that I've mentioned, I'd just say they're more maybe quality of life upgrades. The inventory space, you do get upgrades as you go along, and there may be a few more if you do spend the time to go through, look at everything, check every corner, check every room, etc., and all that. You might find some more as well. But I think initially the obvious ones, there's not that many around because obviously I think, again, going back to the fact this is a survival horror game, they don't want you running around with 10 million inventory packs supposedly attached to your belts, and then you just go, oh, then I've got everything. I've got a ton of ammo, I've got a ton of this, ton of health, and everything like that as well. Now, the health works a bit differently as well in this game, which I've found quite interesting. I wouldn't say I'd fault it, but I found it an odd way to do it. So, as you play through the game, your health bar, you don't get a health bar or anything on your main screen, on the HUD, so to speak, when you're playing the game. So, the only way you can check your health is by actually opening your inventory up, and then you'll see a heartbeat monitor down there, which will sort of say if you're like green is okay health, I think yellow is sort of like you're taking some damage, and red is like, yeah, you're basically one hit. So you do have to keep an eye on that. I do remember though, if you do get to red, you do start to hear the heartbeat sound in your headphones as well. So just to give you an extra indication that you're obviously on very low health and you need to get some kind of health as well. There was one thing of it, because one of the items you could pick up was like red herbs, and you could combine them with other items, which I thought is a good idea for the combining, but the red herbs seem a bit limited to what you could use them for. I was quite surprised you couldn't use them to make healing items as well. You had like the green herbs, which on their own gave you a bit of health. You could combine 2 green herbs into one, give you a bit more health, and then you had the health sprays, which you couldn't make yourself, but they would completely heal you no matter what anyway. So they were quite rare to come across. I did find this game quite frustrating at times, I will admit. Again, that could be because it was my first Resident Evil game I ever played. So there were bits where I was just like, okay, I'm not sure what to do, especially in one of the boss fights in the game. For ages, I was just like, what am I doing wrong? How's this not dying? Until one of my community from my stream came and said, you need to do this. And I was like, right, that explains it. So it's just like, I've been going around in circles trying to kill this thing for ages, and it's just like, it is not working. It is still alive. Again, I'm just saying that like that just to try and not give any spoilers or anything away, just in case anybody just go, you know what, I might go and play Resident Evil 3. So yeah, don't want to give spoilers, obviously. Another bit that did actually frustrate me is, it's probably a minor spoiler. There is a bit where you do have to protect a room, basically. You play as Carlos, so you have to protect a room that Jill is in. And that bit was very frustrating. That took me quite a few tries as well, which was really, really quite nasty until I sort of figured out what I was supposed to be doing as well. It is a game that doesn't really handhold you as well. Although, if you die quite a few times, I did have it on normal difficulty, it does start to go, oh, would you like to lower the difficulty and put it on this difficulty, which I can't remember what it's called. But like the lower difficulty basically lets you regenerate your health, automatically reloads your gun for you and everything, which I didn't put it on there. So it's like, no, I want the challenge. It's frustrating me, but I want the challenge and say, yeah, I'll beat it without having to go, yeah, I don't like this. Yeah, put it on this mode, do this for me. So, I mean, it does have that, which is good if someone is really, really struggling, but I think if anybody does get that, I would personally say don't go on that, because I think it just takes away from the whole sort of thing of it, the whole atmosphere and all that. And again, it takes a bit of the survival element out of it as well. So I would just personally say just keep persevering. You will find a way eventually, and just keep looking around. Be conservative with your ammo and everything like that as well, because you are going to need it for some enemies. I mean, with the grenade launcher when you're playing Jill, the good thing is uh, you could get different types of ammunition. So you got like landmine or trip mine, whatever you can call it. I can't remember what they called it, but it's basically landmines you could fire. Um, you got the incendiary grenades that I spoke about. You got an acid one as well, and a normal explosive one. So you had quite a bit of variety, and some of them were really, really good against some of the enemies as well. Um, yeah, I would definitely recommend this game to anyone. I think, would it make me want to play the other games? Possibly. I've never been a big fan of horror games or horror movies in general. Again, I've said it to a few people. Horror sort of things go either two ways for me. Either I look at it and just like, it's tedious, boring, tiredly predictable, and I've seen a film like that. I just like, I looked at it, it's like predictable what's going to happen. Like that's going to happen. That's going to happen. I've never watched that film before. Then I was just like, this is actually really quite boring and doesn't really look that interesting. Now I'm just like, oh, well that's happening because the camera's following that and everything. Or I'll just be like, hell no, get me out of there, basically. So, but Resident Evil 3 is definitely a game I would say that everyone should play. I'd definitely put it on my list to try, even if you never tried Resident Evil games before. Obviously, like I said, it is a remake of the original one, which I didn't actually realize. I was quite surprised when it said it was 2020 because I thought it was older than that. But yeah, for 2020 games, so it's only what 4 years old. This remake. Yeah, graphics are very good. You can definitely tell that as well. And yeah, one thing I do have to laugh about while I was playing this is one of my community, Dan, aka Yojimbo. He did come in here and he made a little comment on Twitch that did make me laugh about the Resident Evil games, and he basically said, "I don't get why they call the rest of the games Resident Evil, because it's only the first one that's actually in a hotel. The rest of them aren't anything to do with hotels." And that did make me smile on stream. That gave me a good little chuckle. And I do agree with him. It is a bit like, wait, why have we called it Resident Evil? There's nothing to do with hotels anymore. So there is that as well. But yeah, I definitely recommend this game. Really good fun. Even if you just want to play it once for the experience, I would certainly recommend it as well. Um, Obviously, my community from Twitch knows that obviously I did enjoy it in the end as well. One other thing I think I would have liked a bit more of is to see either um, a more constant autosave or more save features throughout the game, or save opportunities, I should say, not save features, as there isn't many on in the game, and it does require you to backtrack a bit if you want to go back and save your progress. So there was a bit of backtracking, but it's not stupidly far. You sort of got to go to the other end of the area sometimes, or up a level, so you didn't have to go back like really really far or anything like that as well. But I would have liked maybe a few more save points around, or a way for me to go save from the menu as well. It's always just like that, just in case. So I know if I'm going up to something that I think is going to be a particularly tricky bit on a game, I can go, oh right, okay, this is a tricky bit. I'm going to save here, and then I can try it. And then if I don't complete that bit, then I know obviously I'm just here. Yeah, I'm just for the other tricky bit, and then I can go, okay, right, what do I need to do? Do I need to change my tactics, or do I need to go back and find something else? Things like that. Again, that's just my personal preference for those kind of things. Yeah, overall, I would say that I'd give this game 4 out of 5. I mean, like I said, there's only minor things I've really picked up on. Got a little bit frustrating, but I think obviously that's part of the gameplay of it, and maybe part of the appeal to it. I don't know. Um, But yeah, I would certainly recommend this game to anyone. I mean, looking at the review scores of this on Wikipedia as well, it got quite some good scores there. Quite a lot of 4 stars. IGN gave it 9 out of 10 as well. Metacritic gave it 77 for the PC, 79 for the PS4, and 84 for the Xbox One. So, you've got a lot of good backing there from those reviewers as well. And I definitely say go and try it, guys, as well, because I think it's worth trying at least once if you haven't already. But who knows? Maybe I might play another Resident Evil game on stream at some point. I don't know. There's no immediate plans for it. I will admit that there's no immediate plans for that. I'm working through a few games at the moment on stream wise anyway. Because at the moment I'm playing through the Kingdom Hearts HD remakes through Steam. I'm playing through the Yakuza game series as well, so obviously I've got those to play through as well. But yeah, maybe in the future we might play another Resident Evil game. Who knows? The other thing that I found quite interesting about this game is it did also give you a rating once you completed the game. I got a C, which I'm not sure how if that means I did all right on Resident Evil or I did really bad because it didn't really tell you what the ratings are or what's the highest rating or anything like that. So I assume it's sort of you probably got about average on it, what they expect as well. So if you want to see a rating at the end of the game, then this game will give that to you. But yeah, well, guys, thank you everyone who's listened to this episode. I know it's only a short episode compared to what we normally are. It's just myself, but we should hopefully get another episode in with at least one guest, possibly 2 guests. I have to see if we can get both of them on together, and I will try and see if we can get Liam and Dave back for another episode as well, because we do need to get another episode done as well. And I apologise, it's been so long since the last episode. And for those of you interested, don't forget I do also stream on Twitch. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday at 8:30 p.m. GMT. And you're all more than welcome to come on to Twitch as well. Say hello. The community is really nice, and we're always very welcoming. We're always up for a good laugh, and Fortnite streams always end up being a laugh as well. Shenanigan streams, as we call them, because normally we end up mucking about on the squad or something goes horribly wrong and we just laugh about it as well. Although I'm still trying to get a crown win this season, which isn't going very well. I've not got a crown win yet on this season of Fortnite. It's starting to annoy me a bit, I will admit. But yeah, we'll be doing that. So feel free to do that. And if you want to drop any comments about the podcast, obviously do please use the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on Resident Evil games. Have you played all of them? Do you like them? Do you not like them? Have you played Resident Evil 3? What do you think could make Resident Evil games better? Let me know. I'd love to hear your comments on it as well.